Thank you, Eric. As he said, my name is Julie Smitherman, and I am the Water Conservation Specialist for the city. As a show of hands, how many people here are from or live in the city of Ashland? All right. That's great. So yesterday, Mike was mentioning, he was giving me a lot of credit for our conservation programs, and as I appreciate that, I wouldn't be able to do it without all of you. The response that we've had from our community has just been incredible, and so I have to thank the community as well as our administration for supporting all the programs that I've put together. And so just to recap a little bit about what Mike talked about yesterday, of course, we know we have a limited supply of water, and we have had a limited supply for quite some time. We've been working on ways on finding new sources, and so we did secure TID water, Talon Irrigation District irrigation water, and then we also tapped in to the tap line into Medford for an additional source. But we do have conservation programs, and we have had them for a long time, because not just during drought do we need to conserve our resources, but also in times when we don't have drought. And so we've had some drought years at different levels over the years, back in 2001 and also in 2009. This photo is from our reservoir in 2009 when it did get very low. But the worst that we've seen has been in the 2014-2015 years, the worst on record. And so we've had to really step up our efforts in order to address these issues and to adapt to the change in our climate. So again, if you haven't heard, we rely on snowpack in order to refill our reservoir throughout the summer months. That's when our peak time is. We go from 1.5, 2 million gallons of water a day in the winter time, and that jumps up to 6.5 and even 7 million gallons per day in the summer. So that's a big differential there. We do have, everyone's asked, well, what about your aquifer? Well, we don't have a very sufficient aquifer for storage, so we really do rely on that snowpack to be our storage, to get us through those summer months. And just to give you an idea, this is our watershed here. It's about 14,500 acres that we can draw runoff from. And water flows from East and West Forks into our Reeder Reservoir. Our normal flow in July is around 15 to 18 million gallons per day because of snowpack melt. And in this 2014-2015 year, we only had 3 million gallons per day. So that's a little alarming when you're working, especially in water conservation, trying to make sure that our community has enough water. Our summer use, like I said, is 6.5 million gallons per day. So if you do the math, that's not enough water to keep our reservoir filling all through the year. That's going to last us about 30 days, and it's just not enough. So we have to figure out other ways to either secure another source or to use water more efficiently. So again, we're going back. I'm going to show you more pictures of then and now. This is Ashland, Mount Ashland in a normal May, what we would typically see. 60 to 80 inches is about what we would expect. And in 2014-2015, this is what we saw. And so, as you can imagine, in my field, I started having nightmares of flowers blooming too early, which you just don't usually have nightmares when you think of flowers blooming, but unfortunately, it was kind of a nightmare for me, just because I was still waiting for that snowpack to come in. And so then, what can we do? And as Mike mentioned before, we can get irrigation water, and we can transfer that to our treatment plant and use it for drinking water. We can purchase water from the city of Medford or Medford Water Commission, or we can use our water efficiently. We can use the water that we already have and use it more efficiently and more effectively. That is the most cost-effective source of supply. And so how did we go about doing that? Well, we started a very aggressive Use Water Wisely campaign. And like we said yesterday, we got a 30% reduction by our community. We went from 6.5 million gallons a day to 4.5 million gallons per day. Thank you. which is, it's a huge accomplishment. And again, it's because of our community that stepped up to help us do that. What we did was we really tried to get proactive. We started our campaigning early February, March of 2014, when we felt like there was going to be a problem. And we reached out to our community, we let them know what the problem was, and we tried to give them tangible, attainable solutions to actually achieve some savings. And so I think that was really important. It's just asking the community to be a part of the solution, asking them for help. Because not any one person can do this on their own. And it was really just do whatever you can. Not everything is gonna work for everyone, so just choose what it is that works best for you, your family, and your property. And they reduced wherever they could. We were just really impressed. People changed out shower heads, they reduced lawn watering, they made changes to their irrigation systems. So a lot of people stepped up. And then, yeah, we provided those solutions. We provided programs and giveaways and resources to help the community. And voluntarily, again, 30% voluntarily. So that means no restrictions were necessary. Nobody had to mandate anything. This was something our community did on their own. So how did our community know where we were, were we in the right range? So we put together this gauge, and we put this on our drought website. And it shows, you can look on there every day, and it updates, and it'll tell you exactly how much water our community is using. And that yellow area between 4 million gallons and 5 million gallons is where we ask the community to stay. And that's exactly what they did. So again, our Use Water Wisely campaign, we place these signs, Use Water Wisely, all throughout town. You may have seen them. They are still up because, we haven't gotten any rain, and I'm crossing my fingers, so we need to continue to use water wisely. We gave presentations to civic groups, community groups. I think I gave a presentation, at least one, every week all through the summer. So it took a lot getting out there, talking with the public, and giving people those solutions. And very important is to provide information on how our system works. A lot of people don't know where our water comes from. Like Mike mentioned yesterday, a lot of people think our water comes from Immigrant Lake. And so we need to get out there and provide some real information to our customers so they understand our system better. We did a drought website with FAQs, signs to restaurants and hotels, and our large water users reduced. SOU, contrary to popular belief, SOU actually reduced quite a bit this year and in 2014, as did our school district and our parks department. So we are very grateful for their efforts. And then everyone took advantage of our conservation programs, and that's what kept me busy. One of our biggest programs, one of the most popular, is our irrigation evaluation program, where I go out, I assess their system, landscape, help them determine what their watering needs need to be. And this is the type of thing I see all the time when I go out to customers' homes. And so I'm there to actually do a whole walkthrough and an efficiency evaluation. We also started our lawn replacement program, which we incentivize people to remove lawn and replace it with drought-tolerant plants and more efficient irrigation systems, such as drip or low-volume emitters. And so that actually has contributed to a very large portion of our savings over the year. We also developed a WaterWise landscaping website. For those of you who haven't heard of it, I encourage you to check it out. It's ashlandsaveswater.org. It's a very useful tool when you're trying to pick out landscape material. We've also done a lot of outreach, like I said, and we have giveaways. Moisture meters, which has been a huge hit, helps people determine whether there's enough sufficient moisture left in the soil, so maybe they don't need to water that day. We also give away shower heads and aerators, and I'll have some examples of those at the breakout session. And then we have rebates for toilets, washing machines, and dishwashers. And so this is just an example for a family of 4, the potential of savings, about 45,000 gallons a year just replacing these devices. So looking forward, is this going to be the new norm? Well, it seems like it's likely to be, and I feel like that we have been providing our community with enough options. We've been providing the tools to help them make those long-term changes that are necessary in order to adapt to the changes in our climate. Again, really important to be proactive and give the community good solutions so that they feel like they can do something, even if it's very small. You're still doing something, and that's great. And we invest in more efficient fixtures, and as more efficient technology becomes available to us, we will also make those available to our community. And encourage changes in habits. That can be very difficult, but over time those things can change, and they will have to change. And then a really important message is that we can change and we can use water more appropriately without having to diminish our quality of life. A lot of these changes you won't even notice, and so that's my job, is to help educate and show you how those changes can actually work for you. And then keep the momentum going. It's constant education. Just when I think I'm finished, I start over again, okay? Because this never stops. It's always constant. And then, like I said before, understanding how our water system works, we become more conscious about it, we appreciate it more, and we are more likely to preserve our resources. So, thank you very much.